Hey there guys, welcome to another video. In today's video, I wanted to do a comparison between the Alcatel MyFlip and the Alcatel GoFlip 3. So, story behind these, I bought this one a couple months ago, actually maybe 2 months ago, for $10 from Target. And this is a Tracfone phone. The GoFlip 3 here I actually got as a review unit, and I decided I want to go ahead and compare them because anyway, so first comparison here is the boxes for these are just, look at how small the GoFlip 3 box is compared to the Tracfone box. But then again, what I've noticed with a lot of prepaid carriers is they do use these big boxes for when they're in stores and everything. I do have everything taken out of here, but usually have this little preview here where you get some plan information on the side as well as the preview of the phone right there, when if you buy it in a carrier store, you're gonna get it in a box just like that. So the phones actually come with the same exact accessories. So whether you have T-Mobile or Tracfone, it's gonna come with a quick start guide, user manual, it's gonna come with, you know, the back cover, the battery, all that separated, as well as a charger. So you're gonna have no real differences there. So these phones, however, are different. I honestly thought they were going to be the same, but they are physically different, and they're different in software also, and I'll show you that now. Okay, so the first one that I purchased was the MyFlip, and so the MyFlip here, you can see we do have a squared off design. We do have the Tracfone branding up here at the front. We have that 2 megapixel camera as well as that small tiny external screen. I believe they're the same size, the 1.44 inch. On the side here, we do have a 3.5 millimeter headset jack as well as the micro USB charging port. On the opposite side, we do have a dedicated camera key as well as our volume keys right there. On the bottom here, we do have 2 microphones right there. On the top, we do have just that hinge right there, and on the back, we do have a kind of textured back and Alcatel branding, as well as our little external speaker right there. 2 little nubs on the back, so when you put it on the table, it'll sit flat. Now on the inside of the MyFlip, on the interior of the phone, we do have the same 2.8 inch QVGA display. We do have a silver earpiece up here, Alcatel branding right there. The keypad, we do have 2 select keys right here. We do have a messaging key and a back key, and we have the send and end key, and you can see it does have the power logo right there, so it tells you how to turn it on and off. We do have a little D-pad here with a little bit of texture, as you can see there. We do have the OK key as well as our number keys here. Now when we take a look at the GoFlip 3, this one is a little bit more rounded versus the square design of the MyFlip. On the front we do have the Alcatel A right there. We also have a camera right there, the 2 megapixel camera, as well as that 1.44 inch screen. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but the actual material looks a little bit different as well. So while the MyFlip has kind of a shinier sheen, the GoFlip has a more matte texture on it. So it's kind of interesting. Now on the side of the GoFlip, we do have that same 3.5 millimeter headset jack as well as the micro USB. On the other side, we just have the volume key. So as you can see, it is missing a dedicated camera key like its MyFlip cousin. On the bottom here, it does have the 2 microphones, so that is the same. Both of them do have 2 microphones there. And on the top, the hinge is a bit different as well. So as you can see, the hinge is a bit bigger on the MyFlip versus the GoFlip. The back of the GoFlip is actually the same matte texture as the front, Alcatel branding as well as that external speaker. And as you can see, even the external speaker is a little bit different as far as the shape is concerned. So it is a very different design. Now the MyFlip has those 2 larger nubs for sitting it flat, and the nubs on this are a lot smaller and less pronounced. Now looking on the inside of the phone here, you'll see we do have the same 2.8 inch QVGA screen. One big difference right there off the top you can see is that it is not a silver earpiece, it's a recessed earpiece. And then there's no Alcatel branding there. On the keys, they're also different here. So we do have those two select keys. We have the D-pad, which has the same exact texture as the MyFlip does, the OK key, the send and end key. And then as you can see, we actually have separated buttons for the numbers. So I'll show you that next to each other here. Kind of interesting. So separated buttons versus a completely rubber keypad. And you can see how this looks like one large piece of rubber with everything imprinted versus the GoFlip, which actually has everything separated, including the buttons on the top. Now, another thing to note here is actually the D-pad on the MyFlip is more square, while the one on the GoFlip is circular. So that's kind of interesting. The backlight looks about the same there, so a white backlight on both, and then we have the green and red send and end keys. But as you can see, the screens look really similar, not too much different there, but you can see the difference in the earpieces there. And also just to show you, the hinges are different here. So the GoFlip actually kind of has the top going behind the back, while the MyFlip actually has it going straight up. And you can see the difference in the hinge right there, so quite different. It seems the MyFlip takes up less room with its flip mechanism, but it is kind of interesting. A lot of parts seem to be shared, as far as like the 3.5mm headset jack and the micro USB being on the same side, but just kind of interesting there. And here's another side view. Now, honestly, I'm looking at the screens, and although they are the same, it does look like the Tracfone MyFlip is a little bit more inferior. It doesn't look as good, but it could be my eyes deceiving me. The viewing angles are about the same, but I don't know. It just looks a little different to me. As far as our software is concerned, you can see here, we have the model numbers here. So for the GoFlip, the model number is 4052W. The model for the MyFlip is A405DL. And then we have two different versions of KaiOS. So we have KaiOS 2.5.2 on the GoFlip 3, and we have KaiOS 2.5 on the MyFlip. So first we'll take a look at the software on the MyFlip. So it is an older version of KaiOS, but everything should be pretty similar. So on our home screen here, we do have the time and date, and then we have notifications or notices. We have our menu key, shortcuts right there, and then you have all your information up here. So you have your carrier, we have Bluetooth, we have our carrier signal, Wi-Fi signal, battery, and time again up there. If we go into the menu, we have a pretty typical layout. So we have our call log, we have our contacts, the KaiOS store, camera, clock, messages, calendar, music, gallery, calculator, browser, FM radio, video settings, email, unit converter, recorder, note, file manager, and a game that I downloaded from there. So everything looks pretty similar here, and I'll show you the software on the GoFlip. So the software on the GoFlip is a little bit different. So you do have a similar home screen, you do have the time and date, and then on the top we have our carrier bars, as well as our Wi-Fi signal, battery, and date. We have the notifications, notices right there. We do have our menu key right there, and then we have our contacts key right there. So instead of shortcuts, it's contacts on here. And then another thing on the GoFlip is this includes the Google Assistant, Google Maps, and YouTube. Now that's not something you can download from the KaiOS store, so this is built into the phone by default. Now the home screen will have this on here permanently, and then you can go through here by hitting the left key to go through them. So in our menu here, we do have a couple of different things. So however, a lot of it is the same. So we have a call log, we have a contacts, KaiOS store, camera. Google is something that is only on the GoFlip 3. We have a messaging app, browser, gallery, clock, calendar, FM radio, music, calculator, video, settings, note, email, file manager, and recorder. All right, so what does the MyFlip have that the GoFlip does not? So the MyFlip actually has a dedicated camera key, which is kind of nice. So all you have to do is open the flip, hit the camera key, and you get an instant camera open right there. Now what else does the MyFlip have that the GoFlip doesn't have? It does have a unit converter built in, so that's kind of cool. So you have a unit conversion right here. You can go in there, you can convert area, length, speed, temperature, volume, weight, all that good stuff there. Another thing I really like about the MyFlip is that the end key is not a backspace key. You have a dedicated backspace button right here. And as you can see, if you hit the end key, it closes out of the app and you don't have to actually press it multiple times to go back. So what does the GoFlip 3 have that the MyFlip does not? So on the GoFlip 3, you do have the Google Assistant, Google Maps, YouTube, and Google built right in. And that actually makes things a lot easier. So if you are texting, if you are trying to look up directions, any of that stuff, using Google Assistant to narrate or to dictate for you is super, super handy. You also have YouTube, and you can actually watch videos right from the phone. Another thing that the MyFlip does not have is if you hold down the end key, you actually can lock the phone, you can clean up your memory, you can restart or power off. So being able to clean up your memory is really handy, so it'll kill all apps in the background, and then it'll free up any RAM that is locked up. When you hold down the end key on the MyFlip, all you get is power off and restart. So while these do have their differences as far as their physical appearance as well as their software, some things are also the same. So the things that are the same are these displays, the cameras, the actual storage on the inside is 4 gigs on both phones, 512 megs of RAM on both phones. Both phones have the same processor, the Snapdragon Qualcomm 210, 1.1 gigahertz processor, exactly the same. The battery size is exactly the same. And as you can see, they both actually take the same exact battery with the exact milliamp hours. So it is interchangeable there. And even the rear of the phones internally behind the battery is almost exactly the same. The SIM card trays are in the same place. The micro SD cards are in the same place. And even the pins obviously should be in the same place for the same kind of battery. So there you have it, just a quick look at the comparisons between the Alcatel MyFlip and the Alcatel GoFlip 3. They are very similar. Their hardware specs are exactly the same. The only differences are some physical differences as far as the hinge, the button layout, the way that the buttons are, so they're not, so one is rubber, one is completely separated keys. The software is slightly different, but you are paying the price for the software on the GoFlip 3. To get that Google software, you are definitely paying to get that, but it is well worth it because if you do a lot of texting on your phone and you don't want to have a smartphone, it's really nice to have a way to dictate to your phone. So anyway, so there you go. So that's just a quick comparison between the Alcatel MyFlip and the Alcatel GoFlip 3. Just thought this would be kind of an interesting comparison to show you guys the differences between the two. And hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did like this video, hit that like button. If you want to see more like this, consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video.